Okay, team. In today's episode, we're talking about one of the biggest hidden growth ceilings I see in consultancy businesses, founder-led business development. Because while founder-led BD works early, it quietly caps your revenue, creates fragility in your pipeline, and keeps your entire business dependent on you. If every new opportunity, relationship, follow-up, or pipeline conversation relies on you to push it forward, you have a growth ceiling. Hi, I'm Josh Stone. I spent 10 years as a director and shareholder of a 3 million engineering consultancy that we grew into a 30 million multidisciplinary firm across engineering, town planning, surveying, and architecture. And one of the hardest but most important shifts we had to make was moving BD out of our heads as a founder and dispersing it across the business. So today I want to walk you through three things: why founder-led BD eventually breaks, what your structure needs to look like at different stages of your business, and three, how to start building BD ownership into your team without dropping the ball or losing control. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you about, team, is founder-led BD feels productive. Like, it feels good when you're doing the business development. And I'll talk about in a second, like, why obviously as you grow your business and start your business and start to elevate it, like why it's got to stay with you initially. But it quietly, what I want to get through to you is it quietly ties your revenue growth and the growth of your business to your personal capacity. And that's where your growth's going to stall, because like obviously early on in your business, founder-led BD makes sense. It might be just you, might be you and one other in your business. And it makes sense early on because you know the clients, you know the industry, you know your business really well, like you can sell the value of your business and you can build trust fast with your clients. So it's really efficient for you to do obviously the BD and the growth of your business initially. But as I'm sure you've experienced, as delivery heats up, like again, as you jag the work and win the work, but then bring it into your business to deliver it, as delivery gets busier, it heats up, it's almost the last thing that you do, which is BD, to continue to push the business forward, because you get stuck in delivery, you've got commitments to clients. You also think to yourself, holy crap, how am I going to deliver the work that I've just won? I can't even think about going out there and winning any more work. But the problem with that is then the pipeline becomes lumpy, because it's too dependent on your availability and it's not a system. So what happens is this feast and famine approach, in terms of you go out there, you win work, you get busy delivering, your BD activity drops off, you have an oh crap moment and look at your pipeline and you're like, I've got to get back out there and win more work. It's a feast and famine approach. And holidays or busy periods, like if you want to take a break out of your business, or busy periods, or even like some personal stuff happens, or things happen in your personal life, what happens is BD drops, you do the bare minimum because clients are calling you and they want the stuff delivered, and your revenue dips. So what happens is over time, the business becomes structurally dependent on you instead of resilient without you. And so I'll say that again, over time, the business becomes structurally dependent on you to grow and your capacity and your time and your effort into BD, instead of becoming resilient without you. All right, so the second thing I want to talk to you about, team, is why founder-led BD doesn't just cap your revenue and your growth potential. It locks you into doing work into the business without the business learning to run without you. So what do I mean by that? We talk about this a lot in boardroom. As the founder of your consultancy, your highest value and your highest value time and your highest value energy and the things that you do in your business, it shifts over time. And so we always say to our boardroom clients, the role in your business should be evolving every 6 to 12 to 18 months. You should be upgrading and up-leveling the things that you do. But what I see happening so often is that stuff may occur, but BD often doesn't shift with it. Like, the BD seems to be this thing that the founder just keeps the entire time. And I get it from a mentality point of view, in terms of you've got the clients, the relationships, you've got the reputation in the industry. But if your role doesn't evolve, you're going to be trapped in the business doing all the BD. So you end up stuck in relationship maintenance with clients, you keep doing all the follow-ups, you keep doing the pipeline admin, instead of like leadership in your business, strategy, and the direction. So what we see happening is, if you keep all of the BD functions in your business, and I'll talk about this in a second, I'm not talking about you outsourcing all of the BD, I'm talking about leveraged BD support in your business so you can stay in your high dollar productive zone or high dollar productive activities. But what happens is the business starts optimizing around you, your time, your availability, not around clear roles and ownership in the business. So again, what happens is like you're building a team around you and they're taking on, work and supporting you doing delivery and that sort of stuff. But team members who could be stepping up and supporting you in BD, they stay passive and they don't do any of the business development because, quote unquote, that's Josh's job or that's the business owner's job. And over time, the business never develops commercial acumen or commercial confidence beyond the founder. No one else is learning how to win work, which means that the entire growth of your consultancy relies on you. So if you're still the person driving every relationship, opening every door, keeping every opportunity alive, just please ask yourself, is my business learning how to grow without me? Or is it just like sucking my time and attention and energy? So really ask yourself that. Is my business learning to grow without me? Third big idea, team. Look, as I've said, like BD, I'm not talking about you getting rid of all the business development responsibility in your business. It is about you looking at the things that you do with BD and going, how could someone else help me with that? Or how could I leverage what I'm doing? BD in the growth of your consultancy doesn't look the same at every single stage. But at every single stage, I highly encourage you to have ownership beyond you as the founder. So what does that look like? So in smaller businesses where it might be, the founder or a couple of directors and a small team delivering, the first move is to get admin or VA support into your business from a BD point of view, doing follow-ups, CRM updates, reminders, outreach, check-ins, really just keeping the BD function of your business organized. And so they can remind you to go, hey, Josh, don't forget to go and talk to that person. Don't forget to follow up on that proposal. They can do that sort of stuff for you. Really looking at ways that you can stay in high dollar productive zone with BD and having an admin or a VA person doing the admin-y stuff when it comes to BD. Because this alone removes massive mental load from you as the founder and it stops opportunities from falling through the cracks. Imagine if you had someone that was relentless and religious with following up on your pipeline, looking at opportunities, sending reminder texts and emails, and just, giving you updates or asking you to do the big picture things. Removes a massive mental load from you and you can just kind of focus on running your business and doing the big picture BD, knowing that the admin-y stuff's getting sorted. So that's kind of in early stages when you've got yourself in a smaller team. As your business grows and you start to put team leaders in place or GMs or ops or all those sorts of things, you want to push responsibility, or push maybe not the right word, support your team leaders in owning the BD for their teams, as an example. So you want, if you've got 3 or 4 teams in your business with team leaders in place, and you're still responsible for winning all the work for those teams, you want to start to push down some of that BD responsibility to your team leaders. Hey, I want you to start to build your own relationships. Hey, I want you to be responsible for winning 20% of your workload, 30%, 40%, 50%. Start to get your team leaders involved in BD because, again, that takes the mental load off you and it starts to have a much more leveraged function in the business. Leaders feeding their own pipeline creates accountability for them, and it makes sure that you can go on a holiday for a month and BD is still happening. And then as you get into much bigger consultancies, this evolves into either a dedicated BD person, formalized BD responsibility across the entire leadership team. So you've just got to look at where your business is at and what stage you're at and just go, what's right for me? I shouldn't be doing everything here. How can I get the best level of support to leverage my time and my highest dollar productive activities? So I want to share a quick client win that ties directly into what we've been talking about today. So one of our incredible boardroom members, Shane, realized that BD in his business technically existed, but in reality it lived all in his head. Follow-ups, outreach, check-ins, proposals, pipeline tracking, it was all dependent on him remembering what to do on top of delivering all the work. So the turning point wasn't hiring a senior BD person or overcomplicating it. He brought on a VA specifically to support him with BD. So their role was simple but powerful. Keep the CRM clean, manage follow-ups, prompt outreach, do LinkedIn activity, but make sure opportunities didn't die because Shane got busy. Almost immediately, like BD stopped feeling reactive for his business. He could, like Shane could stay focused on relationships, direction of the business, while the system kept BD moving in the background. And the result wasn't just more leads into his business, that was a bonus, it was consistency. And that's the key shift here. BD stopped being something that relied on Shane's memory and his energy and started becoming a proper function in the business. So the key takeaway from today's episode, founder-led BD works early, but if it stays that way, it's going to cap your business's growth. Sustainable growth comes from building systems, ownership, and capability beyond you as the founder. Whether that starts with admin support, clearer follow-up systems, or getting your leaders to step up, the goal is the same. Build a business that doesn't rely on you to keep the pipeline alive. And if you'd like to learn more about running a more profitable, efficient consultancy, increasing revenue consistently, and building a business that actually supports your life, check out our 10 million plus consultancy roadmap training. So it's a step-by-step guide that shows you how to grow your business to that next level, whether it's to 1, to 3, to 5, or 10 million and beyond, and build a business you can be genuinely proud of. You'll find the link to that training below this episode. So thanks for watching or listening. I'll see you in the next episode.